Anything else we can do to make it better?
That's good.
Because I can.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
Right.
What was your role in the family then, and what is it now?
Then, being as a young mother, would have been staying home, taking care of children, and taking care of the house. And then, compared to then, now I'm retired from a career that I had, and still working part-time at some jobs that I enjoy.
Okay. How did your mother's role compare to yours?
My mother's role was very similar in many ways, other than the fact that, the way she had to do things at home, of course, took her a lot more time than it did me. But my mother went to work part-time when I was only 10, so that was kind of the beginning of women moving out into a workforce. So I had kind of best of both worlds, the stay-at-home mother for many years, and then watching her actually, participate in a job out in public.
Okay. I can see this recording.
Okay, let's see what.
Because that would suck. Yes. Okay.
How have women's roles changed in society?
Women's roles have changed, I think, quite a bit in the sense that it's almost unusual to find somebody staying at home anymore without being out, with a career and working. And women have become more important and become more outgoing in pursuing careers and pursuing work that really can benefit the family as well as themselves.
Have more job opportunities become available for women through the years?
Yes, I believe so. When I graduated from high school, and especially like my brother's era, because he was just 5 years older than me, pretty much was well known you were either going to get married right out of high school and have a family, or you were going to become a nurse, go to school, maybe become a school teacher, or you were a secretary. And other women, some women did go ahead, college and pursue a important career, but for the most part, that's what was out there for women. And now women have opened up the world, I think, themselves.
What did you want to be growing up? Why?
I always wanted to be a mommy and have children. But other than that, I wanted to be a hairdresser because I love playing with hair and I love playing with nails. I love playing with makeup. And my mother was a hairdresser, so I learned a lot of that at home. That was my desire.
I just want to do that. What was your first important / big job?
My first important big job actually was when I started in the travel industry. And I started as a travel agent, but when I moved on when American Express bought one of the companies that I was finally with, that's when my career moved up the ladder. And I was in management, director, general manager, and had probably about 500 people overall under me at that point in time before I retired.
Did you enjoy it?
For the most part, I did. In the early years especially. Later in the years, it wasn't, travel became just harder to deal with.
Your least favorite job in your lifetime?
My least favorite job?
Maybe when you were young.
Actually, probably part of what I did is in the travel industry was when I was actually a travel agent. I was glad to move into management and not be there on the phones and doing that every day. Yeah.
Going down a different road now, what are you most passionate about?
It's interesting when you hear the word passionate. It's family, grandchildren. It's a passion of mine, and I guess my knitting. I really, really enjoy knitting and just having some time for myself. But it's something that I create, and you don't know what it's going to actually look like until you get the finished product, and then you get done. It's like, oh, that turned out pretty good.
What is your greatest accomplishment?
Other than having two very fine young men, now that they're raised, and great-grandchildren, I mean, not great, but super grandchildren, but it was my career with American Express. I didn't realize that I could accomplish what I accomplished in those roles.
Your greatest regret?
I think that I didn't go on to college and get a higher degree. I still could do that, but now I don't have the same desire.
What is that? Is that the real thing? Who is an inspiration to you?
My mom was very much an inspiration to me. I guess I didn't realize it so much in my young years, but boy, looking back on it, I see how much she inspired me to be more the kind of person that she was. And other than that, I really can't think of any one person right off the top of my head for that one.
What is the best advice you've ever received or given to someone?
I think my best advice was my mom's when she would say, well, why worry about that when something else could come along and blindside you, and then you're not going to be prepared for it. So don't spend your time worrying about something you can't do anything about.
It's true. Is there anything you're still striving to achieve in your lifetime?
I don't know if you call it achieving really, but one of the things that I really want to do when I can have, like if I'm not working and have more free time, I really want to volunteer somewhere, but I don't know where. Probably a hospital, someplace where I feel like I could help other people.
Do you feel men and women are finally equal?
No, I don't. I think women are moving much, much closer, but it's still many jobs. If you're doing the same job side by side, the male is being paid a higher wage.
I agree.
And I could see where that made sense many, many years ago when the male was the dominant breadwinner. But there are a lot of single women, single mothers out there, and it doesn't really make sense to me. And there are other areas in life where I don't believe we're 100% equal.
Yeah. Last question. Do you think we are progressing towards an ultimately better society or have things taken a turn for the worse?
I personally believe things have taken a turn for the worse. And our country, I mean, all the financial things, the problems we've seen just snowball more over the last 4 years has really, it's a concern to me about what your generation is going to have to deal with. You know, this is a wonderful, wonderful country, and we have a lot of intelligent people, and we should not be having the problems that we're having, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome. You know a little bit more about me now, too, don't you?
I do. That's a good interview.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
You better have saved.
Let me go check that phone call.